Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News, and just as the Rostermania chaos slows down over the last couple of days, GameChangers steps up to the mantle in another incredible piece of drama, and there has been plenty here in the GameChangers world over the last couple of years. This is a big one though, a team that was making it deep in the tournament yesterday, nearly on the verge of qualifying for the VALORANT World Championship, disqualified from their match after one of their players was found cheating by the Riot anti-cheat. So many implications in this, especially because they made it very deep in this tournament. They knocked out plenty of teams over the last couple of days. There's still 2 months until the VALORANT World Championship. Do they need to replay the entire tournament here? What should they do about this? What should the repercussions be? So much drama. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Now, there are some Rostermania things. Firstly, Slow is Cool, formerly of DSG, and we'll actually get into DSG over the coming minutes. Former analyst for them. He signed a contract, and he does actually use the same contract signing thing as Nismo does, and plenty of other players that we believe are going to join the, well, okay, Nismo ain't going to China, baby. He's coming back to M80, that's the belief. And yeah, Nismo, Koala Noob, Xander, and Nitro is the 4. The 5th we don't currently know, potentially a player that didn't quite make it onto one of the teams in franchising, and there are still some discussions being had on that at the moment. There's also this, from Leviathan confirming Shy has been removed from the database, so indeed they are making the changes that we pretty much expected. And this is another big one because Squirreliest over the last few days has, well, let's be honest, he hasn't really got much wrong so far in this Rostermania period. This is such a wild one that if this actually happens, then, you know, I'm fully on the Squirreliest hype train, right? But Governor, formerly of Turtle Troop, potentially to RRQ as an import from this region, which would be pretty crazy stuff, right, for RRQ and obviously Pacific team to get Governor. It seems really strange, but yeah, apparently this has been a rumor, and Squirreliest now says this is potentially going to be happening. So yeah, okay, it's a rumor. He's not saying it's a done deal, but yeah, just putting it out there that that's a possibility at the very least. So very interesting one to keep your eyes on. But let's talk about this crazy cheating drama, and honestly, every time GameChangers happens, there's always something brewing, and this is a really big one actually, and Riot will have to have a serious think about what they do about this, given the fact that this team made it very deep in the tournament. And also, in the first place, should there have been better checks to allow this team to even play? That's another question as well, given there were signs that this team was not all it made itself out to be. So this is the competitive ruling that was announced last night by Riot Games. During the VCT GameChangers Series 3 match between Newt and Complexity GX3, Riot anti-cheat confirmed competitive integrity was compromised by Newt. Per GameChangers rules and regulations, teams who have been found violating the competitive integrity of a match will receive a match forfeit. Riot Competitive Operations will launch a full investigation, and this is the big one. We are currently October the 6th. The GameChangers World Championship begins at the end of November, and this was effectively the final chance for these teams to qualify. Version 1 made it the other day because they got enough points. G2 Gozen from Europe, they made it the other day because they got enough points. But the winner of this tournament gets qualification as well. So that's what they were all fighting for. And Newt over the last couple of days have been knocking teams out left, right, and centre, and also losing. That's not like they've literally been losing while cheating, which is incredible. But still, it happens. But some teams have lost to these guys. And, well, you know, they're now out of World Championship qualification to cheaters. And we'll get into the implications of that here in a second. So this was the match in question against Complexity GX3 when, well, map 1, Lotus was 16-14 to the Newt team. And Malibu is the player in question we will get back to here in a second. Bind went the other way, 13-11. And then Haven was not really pleased because they forfeited after a competitive integrity violation. And I mean, it was said straight up, the anti-cheat confirmed competitive integrity was compromised. There is really no other way to read that other than the player in question was cheating using some sort of wall hack, trigger bot. We'll discuss it in a second. So over the last few days, the closed qualifier has been going on, now into the main event. And in the closed qualifier, Newt, they made it through. They knocked out teams on the way. This is now the main event where Newt played up against Disguised GC. They knocked them out of the tournament, and then Disguised GC got eliminated in the losers bracket. Newt then actually lost here to Shopify Rebellion, despite, as we can see, see Malibu dropping a plus 19 performance here. We'll get to that. Now, so they actually lose incredibly on this Ascent 13-9. It dropped down to losers, and they potentially would have beaten Complexity and made it even further because, yeah, version 1 have already qualified, but the winner of this tournament also qualifies. So I imagine if, let's say, version 1 win, I'm guessing the second place team will also qualify, and that's probably going to be the Shopify Rebellion team because they've been pretty good, and they actually beat Noot, right? Like, it's kind of incredible that, they had a cheating player and they lost, but that is what it is. And just to mention, looking at this bracket, all of these teams that are highlighted in red here pretty much, at some point in the tournament, played somebody whose game was affected by Noot. So either they were directly affected by this team, or the passage of Noot through the brackets earlier on in the tournament affected certain teams to such an extent that it affected these teams as well. And this is the real debate as to what needs to happen as a consequence of this, and whether there should be some sort of replay of the entire tournament, and we'll discuss that in a second. Firstly, we've got to say, though, was this player actually cheating? How did this happen? How is it being done? And what caused all this to kick off? And Demon 1, who is the boyfriend of, well, his girlfriend is Katarina, right? And she played for DSG in the most recent tournament that got knocked down to losers by this team. So you can understand Demon 1's deep frustration. Now, these are some of the players on the team. And as we can see, 3 of the players have the same surname. Malibu, Zan, and Millie, different nationalities, right? Different, flags, but yet their surname all evergreen. So, okay, we'll see an explanation for that in a second, but already this should be raising some questions, right? These aren't their real names. This is basically what I'm getting at here. Like, these are not real names, and already there's a question as to whether this should be possible to play a tournament where there's big money and big qualification on the line using false identities, which this straight up is. And as Effie's goes on to say, Noot is using multiple cheating software and faking ID. So, he reckons that he's, of course, the coach of version 1 who have qualified safely through, and I think even beat them earlier on in the tournament. So again, when you're cheating and losing, it is pretty embarrassing. So yeah, he reckons they're doing both of these things, cheating and using fake IDs. So this is the player in question. And immediately, as soon as you see this, you've got to be raising questions, right? Like, first of all, she looks like she should be a K-pop star, right? There's no way this image is real. Like, there's just no chance this is true. And I can't really believe that people saw this and were like, oh yeah, that checks out, that seems right. And, obviously, this looks AI generated. If you've seen enough AI generated images, you'll probably know that it is. And Effie's goes to check it out, and he puts this image through the Optic AI or not. And yeah, this image is generated by AI. So not only is this player using a fake identity, but also their picture they submitted is AI generated. So, it's not really a great start, is it, from a competitive integrity perspective, even when you've not considered yet that this player is actually cheating. And actually, as this guy says, I was truly wondering how the next biggest K-pop idol was suddenly playing at the top level of GameChangers VALORANT. So yeah, a little bit too good to be true, I've got to say. And then we get some of the clips. So this is in the Shopify Rebellion series. There's a few clips that look somewhat dodgy. I think this one, so this is Malibu's point of view here. As she is about to come through the Viper wall, look how good this crosshair placement is. Okay, sure, maybe she's just the best player of all time, but the crosshair placement here coming through is a little bit too good to be true. Gets the first kill, gets the second kill, and I guess at this point she did see the third. Okay, nice headshots, sure, but yeah, I don't know. Crosshair placement, a little bit questionable there, I've got to say. There's also this clip that was causing a lot of controversy when Malibu gets a 4K here. Especially, okay, let's be honest, she had 29 HP here, and this Omen really needs to just kill it, to be honest, because I don't know how they missed these shots, to be honest, but she looks away. It's a bit strange. Thinks you got the kill, looks away, 1, 2, 3. I mean, let's be honest, the other team really needed to close that one out, but still, really, nice shots. To such an extent, I don't think there's anything like completely absurd about this, but it's yeah, it's definitely highly questionable. And there was also this that the detectives were then discovering, that this player used to go by the name Spaz a couple of years ago, and so different name at the time, and there were some very interesting clips coming out here from the highlights at the time, shall we say. Some pretty insane stuff, I'm not gonna lie. Like this clip, for example, here, when what was that shot? I mean, I don't know. Some of these clips are a little bit questionable, I'm not gonna lie. You look back at some of these montages and you think, damn, Are those shots totally legit? There was also this that was shown. People, I think Spazda originally, or Spaz or whatever the account was going, but look at this kill. Like, look at those two-piece. Wow, okay. Interesting, right? No, I don't know. Like, these type of things do happen, but yeah, getting those 2 kills is a little bit suspect, I'm not gonna lie. And it raised a lot of suspicions about the possibility of either straight up wallhacks or aimbot or some sort of trigger bot, as in when your crosshair is on the player, it will just kind of shoot for you to guarantee the headshots. It looks very dodgy. So, and obviously Riot's anti-cheat agreed. I don't know how she wasn't caught earlier from this, but it seems like, yeah, this is pretty much a stonewall case of cheating. It's been documented. And so Zan, teammate, says, I met Malibu literally 2 weeks before GT3 and never once did it seem like they were cheating. We have zero context, zero idea what was going on. And if they were cheating, then, you know, we literally had no idea. If you want to hate them, I understand. We had no idea about this. But then the question was asked, like, why are you all going by this, you know, evergreen surname? Like, what's going on there? And Zan then says, it's a meme. Me and Millie started it and Malibu joined in as a joke. So, okay, fine, whatever, it's a joke, but like, you know, you are playing in a serious tournament here for serious money. Like, probably should be using real names. I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure I buy this whole fake identity as a joke thing when this is a pretty big deal, you would think, this tournament? I don't know. So Malibu then responded and said as follows. Here's what I'll say. I didn't cheat. I am trans and the people closest to me know that is true. And that, of course, raises another kettle of questions within the GameChangers world, but is it outside the domain of today's content? And that headshot thing was definitely trolly. I guess one of the clips we just looked at. Ban was probably for ban evading, but I don't know. I should technically be unbanned by now. Either way, enjoy your laugh, I guess. So, I don't know. If it was for ban evading, this ban, would the statement have said that Riot anti-cheat confirms a competitive integrity violation? Probably not. I'm not really sure I buy this idea. So, yeah, lots of controversy over this. And then we get back to the point of what do you actually do about it? This team made it quite deep, has now been forfeited entirely from the tournament and is done and dusted. But what about the players that they played? What about the teams that they beat? You know, it's a really difficult scenario because this Disguised Toast says, man, I feel bad for Toast. Like, he's put so much into this, and I know that it's content, but man, it's difficult, right? As he says, spent over 300k developing a Valorant roster, 6 months of practice and commitment from players and coaches, flying out to multiple boot camps, and then the team they lost to initially got disqualified now for cheating. So, you know, what do you do to change this? As Katarina says, lost to a cheater on my final GC. Can you replay it? But I mean, you know, they probably won't want to do that and they probably will just run it out to its conclusion. But the fact that there's been a team that's been confirmed to be cheating the entire time and that's affected the livelihoods of many innocent and legitimate players over the last several days, and the fact that the tournament itself, the World Championship, is in over a month and a half, there is time, if they wanted to replay everything. The issue is that you'd probably have to get the teams to agree to this. Some teams would. Some teams who actually have made it far wouldn't try to. I mean, like Shopify Rebellion, they're in the finals now, pretty much in the winners on the upper finals against version 1. So I'm sure they're not going to say, oh yeah, let's just run it back and play it again because they've already done the hard work. But I don't know. It's a really tricky situation. Even as Effie says, when they were playing this team, I yelled at my players during VOD review and called them bad several times. Now I feel bad. I expect compensation for this. So really remarkable scenes. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're going to leave it for today. So GameChangers has done it again. Massive drama. Very much intrigued to your perspective. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.